Hi, I'm Simon Glinsky, a judge in the Conrad Challenge. I'm an entrepreneur and management consultant active in many industries, including healthcare, energy, the internet, and many others. Let's talk today about creating a business, a product or service that has appeal in the marketplace, that consumers want to pay for, that has traction and will be successful. What I want you to think about is being consumer-centric. What does that mean? That means thinking about the consumer experience from beginning to end. What does a consumer experience in this market region now? And how will your product or service change that or address some of the underlying needs? First, I want to encourage you to think about different layers of value. For example, let's take something easy and fun like soda pop. Soda pop has several layers of value. One, it might quench your thirst. That's sort of the obvious value. But there are others. It might be fun. It might contribute to your seeming cool or looking cool holding an orange soda in your hand. It might make you feel good about yourself. Maybe when you're not feeling great and you buy yourself a soda, you feel better. You've done something nice for yourself. So soda pop, we're just using that as an example to see that there's different layers of value, not just the obvious one. Now, how do we learn what's valuable to consumers in a certain segment? There's some research you can do online. Talking to people in person, interviewing one-on-one or in groups is very valuable. You do want to be careful how you do that, because if you ask leading questions or ask the consumer to solve the problem for you, you won't get a full understanding. So you really want to understand something that we can call the customer or consumer experience, meaning the soup to nuts experience of doing something. So when we think about soda pop, it's not just the act of drinking it, it's buying it, where you buy it, how you store it, is it still cold and bubbly when you get it? Or if you're using a bank, it's the whole process of finding the bank and going to the bank or working with the bank online, and what does that feel to the consumer? And then asking open-ended questions to the consumer. The same thing applies in the business markets. When a business is looking for a part or some component in a larger ecosystem, what are the members of that institution thinking about and what's their reaction? So be careful to be open-ended and try to bring that out from the potential consumer. A second thing to think about is the industry ecosystem, how your product or service is going to work in with all the other companies, channels of distribution, marketing, and so forth that's happening in the industry. I'll tell you a fun little story. When automated teller machines were first developed, and one of the famous banks ran focus groups. A focus group is where you have a small number of people, say 5 to 20 people together in a room, to experience something and then interview and learn from their reactions. And they took these automated teller machines or ATMs through the discussion in the focus group, and mostly consumers did not like them. Consumers said, "What, are you kidding? I'm not going to a machine to make my deposit. I'm still going to see Joe or Sally, my favorite teller." Well, was that the correct conclusion? No. ATMs are very useful. Automation's a great part of how we do our banking today. So this is a good illustration of thinking about the fundamental needs of the consumer and not just asking the consumer to solve the problems for you. Well, I hope I've entered the world of consumer centricity with you, and this encourages you to think about how your product and service will actually play and what the consumer or business's experience will be using the product.